talk of the slump being just a slump was great.
Hey, man, let's have a party. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's going to even itself out one way or another. So, you never want to trend too far downwards. But I thought the last couple games, we've been shooting the ball well, other than the Milwaukee game. But just keep working the offense and try to create good shots. And there's just more rhythm and energy, to the offense and the way that we're sharing the ball now. So, you expect some of those to go down at a higher clip, or you would hope.
You're generally on the bench watching the group of Boucher, Achiuwa, and Koloko play. What do you see that they bring? Because it's sort of an odd mix, but they've been very effective.
Yeah, well, you hope that, coaches got them in the zone, so you hope that, there's room for, a lot of defensive intensity and effort there around the rim and just making stuff hard and then get out in transition and put pressure on the rim. So, we got to keep growing that group and keep getting them experience playing together and get more feel and more flow. I thought that they've done a great job the last two games and had some good practices, some good shoot-arounds, and had some good carryovers. So, got to continue to grow, and I think, the more they play well, the more leash they'll get, and that's how you grow, that bench unit, and we're going to need those guys. So I thought they did a great job again tonight.
When it comes to how teams have been playing Scotty Barnes a little bit deeper, he's had more room to play make in the middle of the floor. What have you made of that process over the past few games and playing off of him in that capacity?
It's a good spot for him. I think, obviously with that group that we got, he can do a lot of different things, but if they're going to sag off of him, just being able to play next action off of him and let him play make from there versus, having him bring the ball up and try to organize the offense. He's already catching in a playmaking position at, the short roll, 17 feet. So he's a great passer. He knows the reads, and he's been setting good screens and just making plays. So, he had another 7 assists tonight, no turnovers. So that's great. That's great for him, and we're going to need him to do that.
How would you describe, you guys finished the first half of the season, how would you describe the first half of the season?
Like a first half of a season. That's what it was, and we got to focus on the second half. So don't have a great description, so I'll just say that.
What do you need? What do you need to change from the first half?
We need to win. We need to win more.
Precious, skill-wise, athletically, he's just overwhelming. Sometimes, it seems like he doesn't know what the moment requires on the floor, but as he gets his, legs in a game, he can really just take over at times. How important is it to be patient, let him play his way in so he can really contribute?
I think he's just got to find ways to be effective and find what that spot is, just keep it simple. He's got a tremendous upside, and he'll get to that at some point. But I think for now, just to help this team, just keep it simple. And when he's catching and shooting, it's pretty good. When he's 1-2 dribble to the rim, it's pretty good. When it's quick, decisive, it's pretty good. But, there's times where he's trying things out in the flow, and you can see that. And, you got, again, coach is very patient with him. So I think it's good for him, and it'll allow him to grow. But I think just going forward for our team to be the best it can be, I think just keeping it simple first, and then as you get the flow in the field, the talent and will shine through.
Is it like that in practice? Do you bust out those, crazy dribbling combos and, against set defenses in practice?
Yeah, he's the same all the time. He's the same.
What's the reaction there when he does that?
Come on, man. We love Precious.
Right. In most of your career, college, professionally, you've been on teams that have been pretty successful. You've obviously won a lot. What have you learned about yourself kind of as a leader for a team that's still, like you said, you have to win more in the second half of the season, and, you're probably not where you want to be in the standings. What have you learned about yourself as a leader throughout this season so far?
I don't know. I think more so than anything, just trying to stress the little things and, the little details that add up, and just so many things that we do that we need to do as a great team would do, which is just things that come naturally. It doesn't come naturally for everyone. So I think there's a lot of things that can get glossed over that, come to bite you at the end. So there's just a lot of, I think, just paying attention to the details, being more disciplined, being more locked in and focused on playing the right way and doing things the right way. I think that will help us a lot more.
Just in terms of the rhythm and the flow of this first half of the season, I mean, you guys haven't had a 3-game winning streak yet. How much would it help to be able to string a few of those together?
Let's start on Thursday. So, hopefully we can get it started. Again, what's behind us is behind us. We got to look to the future, and hopefully our best basketball is in front of us. We put something together, and nobody will remember what the first half of the season looked like. So we got work to do. We got a lot of work to do, and we haven't been great so far. But I like what we've been able to put together over the last couple games.
Last season, it seemed like it took you a little bit to get your legs under you, but by the second half, you were just foundational, shooting, driving, defending. It seemed like tonight was maybe a small version of that. Once you got your legs under you, you were really dominating with the shot. What does it feel like when you need that patience and to have that trust from the coach to let you play your way into games?
I mean, it's huge. I've basically rarely played this season. Been out, I don't even know how many games I played, 25, 24, something like that. And just, coming back, I knew it was going to take a couple of games to get my legs back under me. And even before, like I said, I barely played at the beginning of the season. Just games, in terms of games played. And I was trying to get, my rhythm at the beginning of the season, then I got hurt. So just being able to get back into my rhythm felt great. Just got to continue building on that, so.
How do you feel with where you're at right now?
I mean, I'm confident, I'm confident where I'm at right now. I think I'm getting my rhythm back, which is the most important thing for me, and I believe for the team as well. I think that second unit coming out there, the guys coming out, we just got to be able to find our rhythm, and I think we did today. Myself, Chris, Malachi, I think we did a great job in terms of, impacting the game in our own way.
What's it like playing with Chris and Christian, who are, you guys are the same guy? You have three guys back there in that zone defense. What's it like playing in that?
I mean, that's a big defensive lineup, having Christian back there, his ability to be able to change shots, block shots, and of course me and Chris on the wing in the zone, being able to close out with speed, quickness, and also recover. It's very versatile, and then I think it's a big defensive lineup.
When the bench is playing as well as you guys have played over the last couple of games, do you notice a difference with the starters as well, like just not having to play as many minutes? Like, does that sort of feed off into what they do when they're on the floor? I
think it's all about trust. I think it's all about trust and rhythm. Once the bench finds their rhythm like we did today, it's just that goes for every team, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But if a lot of players are, impacting the game like everybody basically did today, then, a lot of guys don't have to overdo stuff. Don't have to, put a lot of pressure on their bodies or minutes, and log that many minutes is just, you have guys out there that are going to do the same thing as, the starters when they come out the game.
How good is it in that moment to be on the floor and have that rhythm with Shawn Michaels?
I mean, that's funny. But it was good, I mean, we haven't had that this season, probably besides the first Miami game or second Miami game, that we've had a game like that. And I think after that, it was 2 games after that, I got hurt or whatever. But being out there, playing alongside him, I think we feed off each other so well. He's able to read me, I'm able to read him. And it felt great, just looking back. We talked about it in the locker room. When we walked in the locker room, the first thing he showed me was a picture of Shawn Michaels and Triple H, so we both laughed about it. But yeah, it's just amazing playing besides him and seeing him do good.
Post All-Star break last season, you shot nearly 45% on catch-and-shoot threes. In the playoffs, you had numerous possessions where you took guys off the dribble, Embiid, Matisse Thybulle. This season, you're grabbing, at the start of the season, grabbing a lot of offensive rebounds. Is it sometimes hard to decide what you're going to do on a possession when you have so much that you could do?
I mean, it's not. I don't think you're just deciding, I'm going to just go grab an offensive rebound. It's just it's time and place. That's what the team is built on, versatility. We have a lot of versatile guys, and it's just being able to do a lot of things, catch and shoot, taking guys off the dribble, rebounding the ball, defending, offensive rebounding, passing, you name it, block shots. it's just the versatility of our team. You know, a lot of guys could do a lot of things, and I just happen to be one of those guys.
Is the rebounding versus like spacing not scripted in the offense? Like sometimes you might crash versus.
It's a read, you know, it's a feel thing. Like today, I knew after I hit my first three, I knew I had a couple more in me. You know, it felt good. So I was like, I don't gotta run in there. And yeah, it's just a feel thing.
What was the toughest part about, being on the bench for an extended stretch? Was it, wanting to get in the game itself? Was it feeling like you could make an impact? Or, what was the challenge of just having to actually be out for that long?
Not playing. Trust me, I've never been out that long ever since I started playing basketball. And just not being able to be out there and play and impact the game or, do something to help us get wins. It was tough. I had to stay mentally ready, mentally prepared for when I came back. But yeah, not playing was the toughest part of everything.
And just in terms of your routine, right? Because obviously, you have your usual routine when you are playing. How did you find your routine changed when you were out for so long?
I mean, especially not being able to move, like it wasn't like a regular injury where I could still like move around and do stuff. I had to be off my leg, for a really extended period of time. So that really kind of messed with my routine a little bit, And then it got to a point where I had to like slowly, like walk a certain type of way, or I couldn't do too much, and that kind of like took me out of my routine. But like I said, right now I'm finding my rhythm back. I'm back to my regular routine, and it's just I'm very confident in where we're gonna go from here.
The second half of the season, what do you feel like you and your team really need to focus on to be able to get more of those wins, potentially flip the script?
I mean, we just gotta lock in, buy into what we're trying to do here. On both end of the floor, defensively, offensively. I think we have a really, really good team. I think obviously we're not where we want to be right now, but I mean, we're not hanging our heads, like there's no one in the locker room that's hanging their heads or pouting or feeling like, stuff is not going to turn around. I'm very confident on in this team. I believe in this team, believe in what we could do. I think we've showed it before last year. I don't see anything that's stopping us from going on a crazy run right now. We just got to lock in, like I said, and just continue doing what we're doing right now.
Okay, OG, amazing game. You guys had a lot of offensive production overall. What was the mentality kind of coming into this one, and how were you guys able to execute?
We knew they liked to play in transition. We knew they play really fast, and they're really talented. So just try to force them into difficult shots and just try to get stops and run out ourselves.
How impressed were you with, of course, the contributions from the bench today? Boucher and Precious both had some solid, both defensive and offensive contributions.
I think, they played great. I think Juancho, Malachi, Christian, they played great too. So, yeah, doing what they're capable of. They're great players, so I'm not surprised.
How do you encourage that level of consistency from your teammates? How do you make sure that they can repeat that again?
I don't it's just once they do it once, they can do it again. So that's how I feel. So I always just try to make sure they know that, and they do know that. They know they're capable of. So.
And of course, everybody knows you as a great defender, but when you have nights like these when you're hitting the three, how important is that for you to showcase your shot too?
Oh yeah, I just try to hunt threes. I know I'm a great shooter, so I'm just gonna keep shooting them.
So solid contributions off of the bench today. Obviously, you had a big part in that as well. What did you see out there? Because you guys were on fire.
I don't think I saw anything different. Every time I just check on the court, I'm just trying to bring some energy. I think, like I said last time, for us to be a good team, we have to have a good bench. So every time I step on the court, I'm just trying to bring that energy and just try to do my job.
What did you see from, your vets, like Boucher, and then also Precious, playing well off of each other?
Precious is a vet.
Oh, I don't know if he's a vet yet. He doesn't get that yet, but he's older than you, so there you go.
Okay. I think it was nice having them do the job they did today. I think Precious hit a couple of threes today, and Priest hit a couple of threes, and they were playing extremely good defense. I think that's what we need from them, and I think, like I said, every time we're gonna do that as a bench, as the bench, as a group, we're gonna have the starters. I feel like they played less minutes today, and we can see when they came back in the game, and they did a really good job.
And then defensively, because you guys got to play them again, what adjustment would you like to make, because you guys are kind of going shot for shot there, especially in the first quarter?
I feel like that's a question you gotta ask coach. I think that we're gonna watch film probably tomorrow, and then me. I mean, I don't know, to be honest. I gotta watch the game first to know what we did wrong, what we did right, and after film tomorrow, I think I'm gonna have a better idea to what to do next game.
And then overall, it's just feeling more comfortable being out there on the floor than earlier this season?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like we have halfway through the season, so I have a lot of game under my belt right now, and I kind of understand what the team needs from me better, what I have to do on the court better, and just how to approach the game in a better way. And I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job right now, and I just got to continue to strive.
The season high threes were probably made because you had a season high 32 assists as well. What do you think of the ball movement on offense most of the night?
Yeah, it was good. I think that we've tried to get some guys more aggressive as far as the way teams are playing. Some of the things that we're doing, the schemes that they're playing against us, and I think we came out. Obviously just taking the open ones, and I think we created a lot in transition as well. Just kick out shots that were good ones. So it was pretty good. I'm very happy with making threes and assists and putting points on the scoreboard. Obviously, is good to see.
What made you think that Achiuwa, Boucher, and Koloko would work? And why do you seem to play zone 95% of the time with them three of them?
Well, I'm just trying to come up with a solution after we had such a rough stretch there with guys off the bench, right? And tried enough combinations and all kinds of stuff that we just, I just was trying to come up with a solution to give those guys, a chance to play and give the other guys a chance to regroup and have, some juice left at the end. And that was just a kind of an idea, and we started practicing it to let them go back to zone. We're trying to press a little bit after free throws and stuff, like a three-quarter court press and back to zone. Again, just to help their defensive transition. And make it something a little different in the game, right? And we've kind of given them a smaller package of plays to kind of run over and over on offense as well, and they've been working on those, so just to give them some organization down there too. We'll see how it goes. I mean, obviously it's been pretty good, the couple games. I'm not sure what the tally was tonight, but it seems like it was very much so on the positive side for both stints, right? I mean, it wasn't so much one way or the other, and that's probably a success too, right? That it just kind of holds some ground there.
You were hoping to get Precious one of those extended runs, and it got off to a bit of a shaky start in the second quarter, but what did you like best about the way that he was able to kind of turn things around?
Well, I mean, you're right. I mean, like, it was shaky, right? But it was aggressive shaky, probably overly aggressive. It's such a good thing that it turned into a good stint, right? That you can let him play through a couple of not maybe great decisions, a couple mistakes here and there, and it didn't warrant that I had to make a major shift. And then he got going, and he needs some of those extended things, and just like everybody, he's going to make mistakes, and it's nice to let him play through some and show what he can do.
You talked about getting them up to both of those guys up to 20 minutes in the perfect world. Is Precious there yet? Like, is he at the point yet where he can get to that, or is he still
getting closer? Yeah, getting closer. Again, I'm not sure how long this experiment's going to work with what I'm doing as far as how I'm playing the bench and stuff. I would imagine that's going to have to get adjusted for those guys to do that, but we'll see. But yeah, I think, he had that long stretch of maybe, but I think it was at like 7, and I thought he looked like he was maybe at his limit, just conditioning wise. But there was a timeout, and I asked him, and he said, "Man, I'm good." So I it was kind of time to make the move, but but I wanted to give him a couple more minutes. Obviously, he was playing well too. We always try to say if you come off the bench and you're having a good stint, that thing could last for as long as you can conditioning-wise handle it.
Why last season Precious started a little slower to the year. By the end, he was just absolutely foundational. And then even in individual games, he can start a little shaky, and then by the middle of the game, he's tossing in 3 threes. Why is it that he of all people, over a long or a short period, can really go from 0 to 100?
Well, I think he's relatively a young player and inexperienced, right? So he's still in that phase of very high highs and low. He's just up and down of not having a ton of minutes on the floor. That'd be my explanation. Yeah, still pretty young as far as court time for sure.
When he is at his best, stopping the rim and driving in threes, does he do something that you kind of don't really get anywhere else on the team?
Well, again, I think what he can do when he's kind of got his motor running or revved up or whatever is he can be a force at both ends at the basket. All right, we know he can pop out and make the occasional three or rhythm three or take those, and he's got pretty good shooting mechanics and all that stuff. But his force and athleticism at the rim at both ends becomes something we don't really have, right?
Taking off of that, though, you're still experimenting with lineups, especially off the bench. But what's with the dynamic between Boucher and Precious always being so strong when the two of them play together?
Well, again, you're right. That crew, usually it was, last year, I can't remember, maybe it was Thad or something. Those guys seem to generate a lot of our offensive rebounding energy. Right, and then it kind of spreads. Like tonight was a great offensive rebounding night for us, and I know the numbers bear it out, but just the feel of it really bear. I mean, like their defense, it was hard for them to get a defensive rebound. Even when they got it, like we were, almost there, challenge or almost tipping it or whatever. And that, again, is something else that Precious brings, right? And Chris, when they just kind of feed off each other, and they're both at the glass. And now you sprinkle in Christian tipping a few out of there too, probably as the third guy. It just, I don't know, in that stint, it seems to rev up everybody on, the guys on the bench watching it as well. So it's good that they can provide that.
When it comes to Scotty Barnes, they didn't play as deep on him this game. But
Pardon me?
When it comes to Scotty Barnes,
sorry.
That's cool. They didn't play as deep on him this game as they have in past games. And his shot making from the three-point line and all that kind of stuff hasn't ramped up or anything, but he's become more effective at moving guys through the offense. What are you seeing from him?
Well, I think just a little more decisive, you know what I mean? Not going from one side to the other, not staying on the same side with his actions, just having a better idea that he's going to get off at a little, quicker decisions. And that's really like something we've been talking about. We don't it's time to make a play. It's take the shot, it's drive it to the rim, or it's get it to the next action. It's not dribble it in the same spot or hold it in the same spot and think and look and just take the next action to keep it going. And that's probably what we did good tonight. I mean, it was an emphasis to not try to strike right away, because they're pretty good defensively and right away. And then, you just got to kind of get it to the next side or to the next action, and then things start to open up. I thought we did a good job of hitting the paint and kicking out, but I think there's even improvement there we could do.
Do you think there's any room to continue to build up the offense a little bit more from where Scotty's operating right now?
Yeah, there is. I think there is some room to play through him and get some more cutting and things like that going, yeah.
Rozier and LaMelo, they both filled up the stat line. What do you feel like your team was able to do defensively to sort of weather that storm from their backcourt duo?
Well, not much. Outscored them, really. They're super explosive. I think we just did enough there in the last 6 minutes. I'm not exactly sure, but we just made them miss enough. I know at one time we had 6 consecutive stops, and that's kind of what in the guts of the game. they were just a little harder shots. They just missed them, and we were able to hold them to one. But we were talking about this is one of those games where they do play at a pace where the scoreboard's going to be going, right? And when can we put together a string of consecutive stops will make the difference in the game, and that really was what happened.
You spoke before the game about how your team's attitude has been pretty strong throughout the past few weeks. And Gary Trent Jr., he's a guy who's been, on the bench, and then he's, been back in the starting lineup. And for the past little bit, he's been back in the starting lineup. What can you say about his attitude in particular, just throughout the season, throughout those, ups and downs and different combinations?
Yeah, he's been as professional as he can be all the way through about all of it. He's even when I go to talk to him, his attitude is, man, I'm gonna work and do my job, and whatever you need, that's what if you want me to start, whatever it is, like he's been right on top of it. Yep.